Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are doing great. So, today we are going to discuss the very important science idea that is related to solutions. Today we will learn about the solutions. What is solution? What is saturated solutions? What is solute? What is solvent? What is solubility? All that stuff will be covered in this video lesson. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started. So today's topic is solution. We are studying this lesson through the page 58 till 59 from our textbook. Before we begin, we must know about what is solution. We must know about what is solution. A solution is a special type of mixture. A solution is a special type of mixture. In a solution, one substance dissolves in another. In a solution, one substance dissolves in another. For example, we will understand with the help of example. For example, when we add sugar to tea, it completely dissolves. This is a solution. There are numerous examples of solutions in our daily lives, like we are adding salt in water. This is a solution. When we add sugar to tea, it's completely dissolves, it's transparent, it's look same all the sides, it's very pretty, it's uniform. So this is a solution. Now move to the next main idea, that is solute and solvent. Solute and solvent. It is a pretty simple and easy concept. Just listen it carefully. The substances that dissolves, we called it solute, right? The substance that dissolved, we called it solute. For example, sugar is solute, salt is solute, lemon powder is solute. There are multiple examples of solutes, right? So what is solute? The substance that dissolves in something. The substance that dissolves in something like water or milk. The next one is solvent. What is solvent? Solvent is the liquid that perform dissolving. The solvent is the liquid that does the dissolving. The solvent is the liquid that is mandatory for dissolving, that is necessary for dissolving. So for example, what are the examples of solvent that we have? For example, water, milk, alcohol, ethanol. These are examples of solvent, right? So dear students, it's a time to learn about soluble and insoluble substances. It's time to learn about soluble and insoluble substances. It's also a pretty simple concept. Listen it carefully. If a substance can dissolve in water, it is soluble. If a substance can dissolve in water, it is soluble. If it not dissolve in water, it is insoluble, right? If the substance is dissolved in water, it means it is soluble. If can't, it means it is insoluble, right? We will understand with the help of some instances, like sugar and salt are soluble in water. We know that sugar and salt are soluble in water. So what does it mean? They are soluble substances. Another example, sand and oil. These are insoluble in water. If you pour oil into water, if you pour sand into water, they are insoluble in water. They make a cloudy or muddy solution. We know that. So that's why we called it sand and oil are insoluble substances. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that anything that dissolves in water, it means it is soluble substance. If it does not dissolve in water, it means it is insoluble substance. Okay? Now, dear students, it is time to learn about the conservation of mass. It's a time to learn about the conservation of mass. When a solution is formed, when a solution is formed, the mass is conserved. What does it mean by a mass? Mass is the weight of something. Mass is the weight of something. So when a solution is formed, mass is conserved. That means the mass of solution is equal to the mass of solute plus mass of solvent. That means the mass of solution is equal to the mass of solute plus mass of solvent, right? For example, we have 20 gram of sugar. We have 20 gram of sugar. And what is sugar? Sugar is solute because it dissolves in water. We have 20 gram of sugar. It dissolved in 150 gram of tea. What is tea? Tea is solvent. Tea is solvent. So what would be the mass of solution? What would be the mass of solution if we plus the solute with the weight of solvent? We have total mass of solution that is equal to the 170 gram. That is equal to the 170 gram because we have 20 gram of solute and 150 gram of solvent. We have 20 gram of solute and 150 gram of solvent, so that is equal to 170 gram solution. The next one is concentration of solution. What is concentration? Concentration means the quantity of something. Concentration means the quantity, the amount of something. The concentration tells us how much solute is dissolved in a certain amount of solvent. Concentration tells us how much solute is dissolved in a certain amount of solvent. If we have high concentration of solution, that means we have higher number of solutes. If we have lower concentration of solution, it means we have little number of solute. Okay? If we have high concentration, that means we have high number of solute. If we have lower concentration, it means we have lower number of solute. Before close this content, we have some important announcement. That is, dear students, you don't need to write these video lessons in your notebooks. For this, I'll provide you with separate worksheets. Alright, you don't have need to write in your notebooks. Lastly, we are going to disclose our last content of the day, that is solubility. What is solubility? Solubility means the maximum mass that can dissolve in 100 gram of solvent at a given temperature. What is solubility means? Solubility means the maximum amount of solute that can dissolve in 100 gram of solvent. That can dissolve in 100 gram of solvent at a certain temperature, at a given temperature. For instance, 36 gram salt dissolve in 100 gram of water at 20 Celsius. 36 gram of salt is dissolved in 100 gram of water, that is solvent actually, at 20 Celsius. We have another option actually. Now see, 32 gram of copper sulfate. 32 gram of copper sulfate dissolves in 100 gram of water at 20 Celsius. The temperature is still same. The solvent is still same. We have the same mass, that is 100 gram. Where is the difference? The difference is here. 36 gram and 32 gram. 36 gram of salt can dissolve in 100 gram of water at 20 Celsius. On the another side, 32 gram of copper sulfate can dissolve in 100 gram of solvent at 20 Celsius. So what does it mean? This shows that different substances have different solubilities. Different substances have different solubilities level. So that's all for today. If you have any question, if you find any difficulty, so connect with us, ask any question if you have. Stay safe, stay happy. Meet you in the next video lesson. Allah Hafiz.